To open bObi and replace any of the parts on her cover, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver and one or more of the following parts: a screen, bumper, and docking sensor. Before we get started, turn bObi off. Next, remove bObi's dustbin and flip her over onto a flat surface. You will then need to remove bObi's front wheel. Grip the wheel with your hand and pull straight up, using the screwdriver for leverage. Behind the wheel are 2 screws. There is a larger screw set deeper in the wheel compartment. Use the screwdriver to remove it. Keep this screw and all other screws removed from bObi for later reassembly. For the next step, remove the screws on both sides of bObi's bin. Then remove the corner pieces that were held down by the screws. Grip the brush compartment and pull down to reveal 2 screws on a red fastener. Remove them with the screwdriver. Pull the brush compartment up until it is freed from the red fastener. Then detach the brush carrier and set it aside. Remove the 4 screws located beneath the brush carrier. Next, remove the 2 screws on the dustbin's red fastener. Remove the fastener and set it aside for reassembly. bObi's cover is no longer secured, so carefully flip bObi onto her wheels. Lift the cover to reveal the mainboard underneath. Remove the 2 circuit plugs connecting bObi's lid to her mainboard. Flip bObi's cover over onto a flat surface so you see 2 green circuit boards positioned at the top. If you'd like to replace the screen, remove the 4 screws securing it. Then lift the screen out and place a new screen in the empty space. Ensure it lies flat. Then reinstall all 4 screws. To remove the bumper or docking sensor, disconnect 8 circuit plugs on the cover's main board. Do not remove the small circuit plug at the top. If there is glue holding down the other wires, you may scrape it off using your screwdriver. Next, remove the 4 screws connecting the bumper to bObi's cover. You may nudge 2 of the oblong wall sensors out to allow room for your screwdriver, and replace them when done. On the left and right sides of the bumper are bObi's sensor strips. They are connected to the circuit board by red and white wires. The sensor strips may be glued to the inside of bObi's cover. Use a tool like a screwdriver to break off the glue. Then, remove the 2 hooks holding the yellow circuit plug against the cover. Depending on your model, there may be only 1 hook. Then, lift the whole bumper out and place aside for later reassembly. If you're replacing the docking sensor, remove the 3 screws on its circuit board. Lift the circuit board and docking sensor out, and place the new ones in their space. Reinstall the 3 screws before replacing the bumper. Line up bObi's bumper with the corresponding screw posts on her cover. Make sure the sensor strips slide in behind the screw posts on both ends of the bumper. Once the bumper is positioned securely on the cover, reinstall the 4 screws around its inside. You may nudge 2 of the oblong wall sensors out to allow room for your screwdriver and replace them when done. Tuck the wires under the black hooks lining the inside of the bumper before plugging them into the circuit board. Then, reattach all 7 circuit plugs. In the center of bObi's bumper is a circuit plug for one of the 5 wall sensors. Plug it in at the topmost spot. The left side of the circuit board has 3 spaces. The top space corresponds to another wall sensor. It has the shortest wire. Just below that is where the leftmost wall sensor plugs in. It has a longer wire. The space at the very bottom is for bObi's sensor strips. Repeat the previous process for the circuit plugs on the right. They follow the same pattern for installation. The shortest wire plugs in at the top. The longer wire for the rightmost wall sensor plugs in below that. And the space at the very bottom is for the sensor strips on the right side of bObi. Next, attach the thick yellow wire to the lower edge of the circuit board. To secure it, you'll need to replace the plastic hooks removed previously. Place the wire through the hooks and line them up with the screw posts on bObi's cover. When aligned, install the 2 screws on the hooks and double-check that all circuit plugs are securely in place. Now, all that's left is closing bObi up. Attach the 2 circuit plugs from bObi's cover back onto her main board. The yellow wired plug connects to the right side of the main board. The white wired plug connects to the center of the main board. Lay down bObi's cover and line up the edges precisely. While holding the top and bottom together, carefully flip bObi over onto a flat surface. Replace the dustbin's red fastener and install its 2 screws. Then, install the 4 screws in the space beneath the brush carrier. Plug in the brush carrier. Then, replace its red fastener. Position the brush carrier back in its original place and install the 2 screws. Now reinsert the corner pieces on both sides of the dustbin with the arms of the brush carrier linked. Make sure the rubber strip is not stuck under the brush compartment. Then reinstall the 2 screws on each of the corner pieces. Next, reinstall the front wheel's screw. Place the front wheel on top and firmly push down to secure it. Make sure the bin can slide in easily before using bObi again. Congratulations on replacing bObi's cover components and happy cleaning!